Well, here we are, Don. We are on board Ambassador Ambience.
We've had an absolutely fantastic embarkation day and we're really excited to share it with you.
So let's go right back to the start of our day where we stayed at a hotel in West Southwark.
Hi, if you're new to our channel, we are Tom and Dom Travel and we release a new cruise related video every week. So make sure you press that subscribe button and give this video a like. Yeah, we stayed in the Abyss just off the M25 and it was absolutely fantastic. Perfect location, only 15 minutes from Tilbury International Cruise Port.
Once we were ready, we headed first of all to IKEA. Now, why did we go there? This is our top tip. We got breakfast in IKEA using our IKEA family card for just £5 for the two of us with drink. What a bargain. So if you're fancying a pre-cruise stay and you're near IKEA, so that could be used in Tilbury Port or Southampton, IKEA is a fantastic place to go for breakfast.
We were quite fortunate because our hotel was pretty much located around about a couple of minutes drive away from Lakeside Shopping Centre. Fantastic location.
After our bargain breakfast in IKEA, we then headed straight to the port in Tilbury, which took us around 10 to 15 minutes.
Once we got to Tilbury Cruise Port, we'd pre-booked our parking with Ambassador. Unlike ports like Southampton, which have got lots of additional sort of companies offering parking, in Tilbury it's quite difficult to find parking space for the length of your cruise. We're cruising for 11 nights, so we thought as it was our first time in Tilbury, we book our parking direct with Ambassador.
Ambassador made it really easy for us. We arrived at the port and we were directed straight away to drop off our suitcases whilst in our car. The team there helped us drop off our suitcases and then we headed straight away to find a parking space.
The bag drop off was really unexpected, but it was really efficient.
Lucky for us, we had a 12 o'clock embarkation time, so we had a space that was really close to the port entrance. We arrived at our parking space about 10 to 12. We were instructed by the parking marshals in the car park to wait in our car until 12 o'clock, which was the time check-in opened.
It was a really short, quick walk, basically across the road, and then we were in Tilbury International Cruise Port.
We queued up outside the cruise port entrance itself for about 5 minutes. First thing we had to do was show our COVID certificates to prove that we'd had our vaccinations, and then we were welcomed into the port and straight to security.
Security was very quick, very well organised, and we were there only a matter of minutes. Once we finished security, we were right in the check-in area. It's not the largest check-in area we've ever been into. There are some VIP allocated seating as well as seating for just more traditional guests. Tilbury International Cruise Terminal is absolutely beautiful. It's got to be one of the best cruise terminals we have ever been into. It's so traditional, it's full of history, and it just looks absolutely fantastic.
Once we arrived through the security area, we were greeted by Cruise Director George, and then we joined the queue waiting to check in. The queue time was about 5–10 minutes till we reached the check-in desk, so really quick check-in. But unfortunately, that's where we came across our first problem.
Unfortunately, there was some type of system error and Tom's details were not there on the system.
No.
So it meant I could check in, but Tom couldn't.
Yeah, so I think there was a risk of me being left at the dock, but it didn't happen. They manually entered my details in, which I did have to join another queue for. Luckily for me, I was at the front of this queue, but the queue was getting bigger and bigger. There were some passengers who did have quite a bit longer wait than us.
It seemed like not just an issue that was just for Tom, but a number of other passengers also encountered the same issue.
To be fair, it took them about 10 minutes to get it sorted, and then we started our embarkation of the ship. As
we were walking towards boarding Ambience, there was a representative from the spa on board handing out discount codes as well as trying to encourage passengers to participate in the onboard raffle for a free spa treatment.
Also at this point is where you collect your cruise card, which took minutes, and then we headed straight on board the ship.
Really short walk from Tilbury International Cruise Terminal onto Ambience. It's up not a massive incline or a steep incline.
So now it was time to get on board, and we were given a fantastic welcome as we got on board.
We boarded Ambience on deck 5 and straight into the centre court, which is an absolutely fantastic location.
What a beautiful space centre court is. It's set over 3 decks and it looked brand new.
The quality of the fixtures and the furnishings are absolutely top notch.
Beautiful spot on the ship, and you could really sense this is the hub of the ship.
Surrounded by cafes, bars, reception, everything you would want in sort of central location. It's all there and it's absolutely incredible. Around centre court there were so many staff members available directing newly embarking passengers to their cruise cabins and also just providing general advice, hints and tips. Myself and Tom had a lot of onboard luggage, as you can imagine, for an 11-day cruise. Even though our rooms weren't officially available until 1:30, seems like the standard for Ambassador, we were able to put our belongings in our cabin ahead of that time.
Because we could drop off our luggage early into our cabin, which was fantastic, it means we could set off exploring the ship.
The lifts were the first thing we noticed because they are very, very quirky. They've got lots of different designs and patterns, and I actually quite like them.
Yeah, every lift is different and the patterns are quite unusual. One feels like you're entering into like a church. One feels like you're in the jungle.
It's quirky.
It's quirky.
Might not be to everybody's taste. It has that sort of wow factor the first time you see it.
It's unique. We then headed right up onto the pool deck.
We were really surprised by the size of the pool deck. It's essentially got a small little splash pool, then separated by a main podium or a sun lounger station, and then there's another pool. There's sun loungers all around it. A jogging track goes just along the deck above it. It's just an absolutely fantastic open space. We'd seen a lot of YouTube videos, ship tours, but we just really weren't expecting the size of it.
One thing that we did notice was that Ambassador has fantastic sun loungers. They've got those really, really thick cushions on them, and they're quality sun lounge and none of those cheap plastic that other cruise lines have. From the pool deck we then headed into the Observatory lounge. Now this is a really unique lounge at the front of the ship.
Yeah, it's actually a really beautiful location. Doubles up as the late night venue on board. It's got panoramic windows going all around the outside. They call it the Dolphin Dome because essentially that's what this ship sort of modelled on when it was first created, and you can sit and just look out the windows. It's an absolutely fantastic location.
Once we'd had a look around the Observatory lounge, we headed out back onto the pool deck, but first we came across a little coffee shop. And there's a coffee shop available on that deck just outside of the Observatory lounge, which I'm sure we'll be using lots during this cruise.
It's quite a unique feature. It's a completely separate little coffee shop, serves coffees, specialty teas, cakes and sweet treats, and it's sort of got an authentic coffee shop feel. It's absolutely fantastic, and as Tom said, we'd definitely make full use of that.
We then headed to the aft of the ship.
The aft on Ambience is absolutely incredible. It's literally tiered over 5 decks and offers some absolutely spectacular views.
Really, really nice place. Now there is a bar located in the aft, but it's only open if the weather is calm enough to be open. But the buffet is also located at the aft, so you can easily get a drink if you need one.
There's also 2 hot tubs located at the aft of the ship, as well as ample sun loungers, seating, tables, everything you could possibly imagine. It's an absolutely fantastic location. Embarkation day for myself and Tom is an incredibly busy day. We're trying to rush around, get our bearings, have a look at all the different venues and locations on board so we can put them together in our ship tour. And I'll pop the link on screen now for you to watch.
So we cover so many more places on Embarkation Day. We headed to the spa, which is a great place on the ship. And one tip for the spa is that the thermal areas in this ship are completely free. So something you don't get on many other cruise lines. You can use the steam room and the sauna, as well as the relaxation beds, completely free. Purple Turtle, had a look around there. So all these places will be covered in more detail on our ship tour.
By now, after exploring some of the venues and locations on board Ambience, it was time for our muster drill. Now, on Ambassador, it's slightly different to other cruise lines that myself and Tom have cruised with before. There was a set time that everybody had to go to their individual muster stations. Our muster station was muster station C, which is the Botanical Lounge on deck 7.
So we found ourselves a seat in the Botanical Lounge, and when it came time for the muster drill, members of the crew came into the Botanical Lounge and demonstrated for us the safety procedures on board.
There was a whole ship announcement with Assistant Cruise Director Dave going through instructions about emergency procedures and how passengers and crew would sort of behave in the event of an emergency. It was quite a long process, would you say?
Well, it's a longer process because it's in person, whereas before we've been used to doing it either on the app or on a TV in your cabin. This time obviously it was in person, so it did take longer. After the muster drill was completed, we then headed back to our cabin where we could unpack and film that all-important cabin tour.
Quite lucky, we opted for guaranteed room and we were allocated an outside cabin with a window. It's the first time we've stayed in an outside cabin, and we've got to say, it's absolutely fantastic.
There is lots of space. Yes, it is a little bit dated, which we will show you in the cabin tour.
So much space, it's spotlessly clean. We've got no complaints at all.
After filming our cabin tour, it was time to head to Centre Court, where the sail away party was taken away. On Ambassador, they call this the Tilbury Tartar.
The sail away took place in the Centre Court because it was just a little bit too windy upstairs on the pool deck.
The sail away party itself was really fun. It gave us an introduction to some of the team. Once again, we got to meet Cruise Director George, we got to meet the entertainment team on board, as well as they did a ceremony that involved introducing some members of the crew and gave us an introduction to the nationalities of crew on board with a flag ceremony.
Each member of the entertainment team essentially walked into the centre court with a flag, and the cruise director then told us how many members of the crew came from each country. It was really, really interesting. The centre court was really full with other passengers, and really, really nice experience and introduction into Ambience. After the Tilbury Tartar, we made our way back to our cabin to get ready for the evening and our first experience in the Buckingham main dining room. Now, unlike other cruise lines we've been on before that offer freedom dining that myself and Tom prefer, those of you that regularly watch our vlogs will know that we do like dinner at 7 o'clock. On Ambassador, there is an early sit-in and a late sit-in, and you are allocated either one of these.
We have been allocated the late sitting, which is at 8:15, and the early sitting is at a really early time of 5:45.
So out of those two options, we're quite glad that actually we've got the 8:15 sit-in, because I think 5:45 is a little bit too early for either of us.
So we headed to the Buckingham Restaurant about 8:10, and there was quite a queue of people outside.
Yeah, it was very busy. Obviously, on most cruises, especially Embarkation Day, is always busy for those main dining rooms.
Because everyone already has a set table, once the time came to let us all in, 8:15, we all went in very, very quickly. There was no queuing then, straight to our table.
It's fantastic. Obviously, our reservation was in our cabin, and on the back of that reservation was a map of the Buckingham Restaurant with our table circled, which was absolutely fantastic. And like Tom said, it just made sort of going into the restaurant for the late sit-in really, really smooth.
So there is an option to have 5 courses for dinner in the Buckingham Restaurant. Out of the 5, we went for 4 courses. We don't think we could have squeezed in 5. First of all, there was an appetizer, and we both went for the same appetizer, which was the caramelised onion and cheese tart.
It was absolutely spectacular.
good start.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I did say at the time that I could have eaten a whole tart because it was glorious.
Very nice, really good.
Yeah, it came with a little bit of caramelized onion on the side as well. It was just really, really tasty, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Then we went on to our starter, which we both went for the same. We both had potato and leek soup. Now, potato and leek soup is my favourite type of soup, so I could not fault it really. It was fantastic.
Because the other soup on the menu was the beef consommé, and I'm not the biggest fan of that, so I thought I'll go with the potato and leek because I know I like that. Again, it was really, really tasty.
Yeah, and there was also a bread basket on the table with 3 or 4 types of bread in it, so there was plenty of choice there as well.
Brilliant bread selection, and thoroughly enjoyed it with my soup.
For main course, I had the stuffed chicken with cheese, mushrooms and olives. Now, the chicken was fantastic, but for me, I'm not a fan of olives really, so the stuffing part was too overpowering for me. So I took the stuffing out and just ate the chicken and all the bits that came with it. And the chicken itself was fantastically cooked, but just the olive bit wasn't for me.
And for my main, I opted to have the pork tenderloin medallions, and they were absolutely beautiful, cooked to perfection. The food was beautifully hot, and I thoroughly enjoyed them.
And then dessert. We went for the after 8 dessert, and that was fantastic. And they also gave us like a sundae glass of ice cream in the centre that we shared. Fantastic. The chocolatey bit of the after 8 was beautiful. But what did surprise us was how bright green the top layer was. It was like an luminous colour, but the taste was fantastic.
Overall, within the Buckingham Restaurant, the food, the service was absolutely fantastic. We washed our dinner down with a couple of glasses of their signature red, and we had a really, really pleasant evening. In total, I think we spent around about an hour and 10 minutes within the restaurant. Obviously, that would have been a little bit longer if we'd had that additional salad course.
Yeah.
However, overall, really, really good.
After what was a fantastic first dinner, we headed to the Purple Turtle pub for a quiz.
The quiz started at 9:15. We were a little bit late, maybe 10 minutes, because of our late dining sitting. However, we didn't struggle to find a table or a little remote control to take part in the quiz.
So the quiz turned out to be more of an interactive game where you had the choice of choosing between 4 tracks in any given category, and you used your remote control for audience participation, where the audience could vote for their favourite track. Whichever track had the most votes got their track played. It
was quite a nice interactive little feature. It was hosted by a member of the entertainment team, and it was quite fun.
Good way of having audience participation and using modern technology on board.
After the quiz in the Purple Turtle, we then hurried to the Palladium Theatre for tonight's performance.
Now let me tell you, the Palladium Theatre is stunning. Such a good venue. The size is fantastic for the size of the ship, so it is such a beautiful venue. And we found a seat on the second row and settled in.
Unlike most other cruise lines, on Ambassador you can actually order drinks from your seat in the theatre, which is a little bit interesting. I don't know how that'll play out when the theatre gets a bit busier for those production shows, but we'll just have to wait and see.
The theatre show tonight was the welcome show, and it gave us an introduction to what to expect in the coming 11 nights that we are on board. Cruise Director George and the Assistant Cruise Director Dave introduced some of the team and gave us a preview of some of the shows to expect whilst we're on board.
Here on Ambience, they have actors on board that perform shows, which we thought was quite a unique, quirky little feature. They did a little set or production just as a little introduction to show us what they're like, and they'll be performing throughout the cruise, and they've even got a performance in the main theatre one evening, so we're really looking forward to that.
Something very unusual. Now, we've been on lots of cruises where we've had musical review shows but never plays. There will also be pop-up small 10-minute to 15-minute plays happening in the Botanical Lounge.
So we'll definitely try and make our way to watch a few of those, because once again, it's quite a unique little feature. I've never seen a play on a cruise ship before, so I'm really looking forward to it. After the welcome show in the Palladium Theatre, where we got just a little bit of an insight and a little introduction into what's going to be happening throughout our cruise, we then made our way up to the Observatory Lounge right at the top of the ship.
Yes, there was a duo playing It Takes Two, and they played quite a selection of songs, but they did have the passengers up dancing, and I found them really entertaining.
They're really, really good, sang a huge variety of different songs, and everybody pretty much was up dancing, enjoying their holiday.
We did try a couple of the cocktails on the menu, let's say, and we found them very, very nice. So good selection on board.
Fantastic selection of drinks available in the vast majority of bars, and then in Raffles, the Botanical Lounge and the Purple Turtle, they've got a small selection of speciality drinks that you can only get in those venues. However, overall, the menu is fantastic.
In the Observatory Lounge, the next thing happened that was unique to Ambassador, and that was we were served late night canapes to our tables.
So they had melon wrapped in bacon, they had mozzarella sticks, they had little samosas, and they also had some fish, goujons.
So that is Ambassador's alternative to a late night buffet. We shall see how it goes, because although they were very nice, that we are a fan of a late night buffet, so we shall see if we miss that or not.
Unfortunately, the Borough Market buffet on board does close a little bit early. There are other options to get food. There is 24-hour room service available. However, we'll just see how we manage with canapes and late night snacks.
We might just have to go to bed early. So after our time enjoying the music of It Takes Two and a little bit of late night music with DJ Ryan, we then headed to the buffet once again, because although the buffet is closed for food, it is open 24 hours for free tea, coffee and water. So we grabbed ourselves a couple of hot drinks and headed back to our room.
Overall, we've had a fantastic first day and experience on board Ambassador Ambience, and we're really looking forward to seeing how the rest of this cruise goes.
We really think we're going to enjoy this ship, so we can't wait to show you some more.
Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or questions, just pop them in the box below and we'll get back to you.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit that bell button to never miss a video from us. Thanks for watching. Bye. We booked our cruise on Ambassador Ambience through My Kind of Cruise. Their app is so easy to use to find the best cruise that will suit you. To download the My Kind of Cruise app and start searching for your perfect cruise, click the link in the description.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more content available on our YouTube channel, so press that subscribe button. If you're interested in receiving daily updates, we're available on most social media platforms. Just search for Tom and Dom Travel.